Well, speaking of athletes, there was a big uproar because a female sprinter, uh,
Yeah, I've been trying to get in touch with her.
Sha'Carri Richardson,
Yes.
has been eliminated from competing in the Olympics because she tested positive for marijuana.
Yep. I saw it.
As someone who's obviously, in the marijuana business and everything else like that, do you feel she got robbed? There might be a racial aspect to it. Or, listen, here are the rules. You knew the rules before you got into the sport. You decided to smoke marijuana, off the court, which is not a performance-enhancing drug, but it's still one of the banned substances in terms of the testing. I mean, yes, you lost your mother and you went through some sadness and everything else like that, and we got it. But ultimately, Joe Biden said the rules are the rules. What is your take on it?
Well, I agree with what Joe Biden is saying, and I think she's already taken a pretty positive. I heard on the news the other day where she kind of took a positive attitude to it. What I would suggest to her right now is take lemons and make lemonade. Don't shy away from the marijuana. You use it, go ahead and embrace it all the way. I believe that the marijuana community will accept her and take her in, and she'll never know what might happen if she embraced the marijuana industry, because we think that it's insane that they would have banned her for her smoking marijuana. But those are their rules. Let them have their rules. Create your own game.
Yeah. Although, the Olympics are the Olympics. You can't really create your own Olympics.
I mean, who cares about the Olympics?
Yeah.
Not me. I'm not going to watch it.
Right. I don't really watch the Olympics.
If I had somebody running in there, I might watch it. But if I don't have anybody running in there, the Olympics are not what they used to be, back in the days where everybody sit around their TV waiting to see who's going to be the fastest man in the world or who's going to win the boxing title. It's just not like that anymore. People have other things that they're more interested in than, who won the gold medal at the Olympics.
Now, listen, I feel you. And Nike, I guess, is one of her sponsors. They stand behind her. And look, I could understand like the two sides of it, right? Okay, look, it's not a performance enhancing drug. It's actually legal in America, probably, damn near in the whole country, and it's not like she has an advantage of doing it and so forth. But on the other side, she is putting herself into the realm of the greatest athletes of all time. And this is something that everyone else is taking seriously, that she chose not to take seriously. She went through a moment and decided, hey, I'll just take a few puffs and maybe they won't notice, whatever else, when she has the opportunity to really get to the highest levels. And what it really reminded me of, I remember this one time when I was first started doing, like the first video project I ever did was with the rapper Game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew one of the guys in his camp, so we came up with this idea, we'll do a mixtape and a DVD. I had this shitty, mini DV camera that was like $200, and I'm just going to film Game as he runs around New York. I'm going to go see his house in Compton and, whatever. And it was called The Devil's Advocate. It's really what led into Vlad TV later on, right? But I remember we all went to MTV because he was performing on MTV back when MTV was more
still doing music.
We're still doing music, right? And I remember it was Game. It was DJ Quick was his DJ. And there was a bunch of other of his entourage and stuff like that. So we're at MTV, and we all decided to go in the bathroom and, puff a blunt in the bathroom, in the Viacom building, right? No surprise to anyone, security shows up, and they kick us all out. They actually tried to kick DJ Quick out because he was smoking with us. But someone explained to him that, no, this is Game's DJ, whatever else,
the
right?
show got to go on.
The show got to go on. You got to keep him. And I remember I was talking to the guy, like the guy at Aftermath Records, who was basically in charge of all this. And we were talking afterwards. I was like, oh, does this happen a lot with with the artists? He goes, no, because most artists have worked their whole lives up to get to a platform like MTV So the last thing in the world they're going to do, because Game wasn't smoking with us. It was just,
just the crew.
The crew,
Well, but that goes both ways too. Now the Olympics is finna miss maybe one of the greatest athletes they ever had.
Yeah.
And who knows who might now turn off the TV? Who might
lots of people
say, you know what? Fuck the Olympics. You anti-marijuana, I'm anti-Olympics.
Yeah.
And just don't even pay attention to that shit because it's outdated. That way of thinking is old, it's outdated, and it's time for a new, So I don't think, if it was me and that, I've grown a lot, it would have been a time that if they told me I could have played tennis in the Olympics, I would have probably been doing cobwebs. But, now it's like, it's the way I see the world. And if you don't like the way I see it, then you go to your part of the world. I'm going to my part of the world, and we just stay on our own terms.
Yeah. Well, Clarence Thomas of the Supreme Court actually said that marijuana laws on a federal level may no longer be necessary. This is Clarence Thomas. This is one of the most powerful human beings in America.
And one of the conservatives.
And one of the conservatives, a Republican.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's basically saying, which is just kind of obvious these days, like, look, if every state is allowing for marijuana to be legal, what's the point of having it be illegal on a federal level? Like, what is the point? Because I think when Obama was in office, didn't he say that they're not putting any more resources into prosecuting like marijuana offenses?
Yep, no more raids.
But there are people, like, for example, Rollo. Remember we talked about his whole story, the guy that's from Atlanta?
Yep.
He's in prison right now. He's talking about this is like his 5th summer behind bars. The trial hasn't started yet. I think he's trying to do a plea deal or something like that. But he's in prison, he's in jail right now because of transporting marijuana. A lot of it, hundreds of pounds on a private jet.
To Atlanta,
where it wasn't legal at the time. So you could say, well, yeah, it's all legal now, but there's lots of people still locked up.
And what's her name just got out of jail. Cavano just got out a couple weeks ago.
Who's this?
Cavano. He was on Smoke with us. He had a life sentence in Alabama.
Okay.
And I think Trump gave him a pardon.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, he just I met him the other day for the first time. It was crazy. His dad was one of my guys. So we met Saturday at the Kush Stock in San Bernardino, and he came up to me and he's like, "Man, I'm such and such, such and such," and we had a chance to meet. But yeah, it's a conflict, still with this system. Is it legal? Is it not legal? Can it be used here? And I think it's time that we all come to grips that marijuana is here to stay. I
agree. But with it being here to stay, there's also very specific rules. Like I remember, I went to my dispensary, to stock up the other day, and they were like, you could buy a maximum, I think, of an ounce for recreational use, right?
Right.
I think if you have a doctor's note, that number goes up, but whatever. You could only buy an ounce. Reggie Wright Jr., who used to be down with Death Row, head of security, former cop, he went to jail for transporting marijuana. There are very specific rules. Now that it's regulated, you can't just haphazardly move it across the country whenever you feel like it.
Oh, no. They still have restraints on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you could go to jail for marijuana right now.
Oh, absolutely.
If you
in a legal state.
Yeah.
If they catch you bringing weed from Oregon into California, you can go to jail for that.
Exactly.
Or you can go to jail if you illegally growing marijuana in California still. Which I doubt if they'll put you in jail, but